Welcome to Nashua High School South and this, thank you, and this wonderful celebration on behalf of Mr. Steve Norris. Let's give him a nice round of applause. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Jen Seusing, the very proud principal of this fine school, and actually a graduate, class of 1979, and member of the Royal Purple Marching 100. Woo! We are very pleased to have you here to honor the history that we have had, I would say 43 years. I would like to say I was 43, and so, you know, maybe I wasn't born with it. No, we've been together a long time, traveling through the same circles. So for me personally, I'm very excited to have you here today, Mr. Norris, because it always has to be Mr. Norris. I can't call him Steve. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But with Mr. Norris, we have his lovely wife, Stephanie. Make sure I get this right. Son Greg with his wife Corinne and kids Mitchell and Nicholas. And son Jeffrey with his wife Julie and kids Alexandra and Stephen. Stephen. I've been actually working on Stephen and Alexandra, sorry, because they said, you guys have to come here. You can't go north. We need them to move, but Alexandra's a little worried about that, so we'll work on that later. We also have some dignitaries in the audience I would love to introduce to you. We have Mayor Donnelly Lozo. You'll be hearing from him later, Alderman Rick Dowd. I know she's here, resplendent in purple. There she is, School Board Member Kim Hughes. My boss, who will correct anything I do wrong, Superintendent Mark Conrad. I would like the music educators in the room to stand so that Steve can see who's here on his behalf. So all of our music educators, stand. Back over there. And last but certainly not least, my former principal who's here today, Mr. Stanley Staunches, who will always be Mr. Staunches. He never wants me to say anything. We're very glad to have you here today, and as we go through this afternoon, you'll hear from speakers on various accounts, but I actually have two stories I need to share from my memories. One, well, I got in a little bit of trouble. I know you'll find that hard to believe, but I'm going to take people with me. And one that shows an example of why we're here today. One of my favorite Mr. Norris memories brings us back to Keene State College. Do you remember this, Mr. Santier? Band camp.
Yes, left the building.
The summer before my junior year, I'm going to take him down memory lane with me, Mr. Santier, in his just summer before his senior year. And, you know, Mr. Norris runs a tight ship, but sometimes you have some rebels. It really wasn't me. I would like to blame him because, you know, very heavily influenced, and we snuck off campus at Keene State. I know. I can't believe I did that. It's the only thing I've ever done wrong, I promise. And we went to McDonald's. And we were so proud of ourselves because we said, he'll never know. We're at McDonald's with our hamburgers. We are happy, smiling. And the doors opened. Whoa. It was like a Boeing 747 came through those doors, and all we did was look at his face and knew we were doomed. Do you remember that, Mr. Norris? Good. I'm glad you know. I do. And, you know, he lined us up single file, back. We got the back. I know you find this hard to believe. Could I just take my food with me? I said. I didn't even need to hear a word. I just saw the eyes. And back we marched single file, where my remaining memories of band camp were pretty much sequestered to our rooms, I think. Paul, did we ever get out of there?
I think we were grounded.
Again, I would like to say I was a mere junior, he was the senior. I was following the senior leaders, so very fine memory. But band camp was an adventure in our world, and I'm sure anyone else who has experienced that would say that. And Mr. Norris ran a tight ship. We respected him, we listened to him, we might have tried to get away with something, but boy, he pulled us right back in and we followed suit. And thank you for being such a leader, because I've had to learn from that. A few people have tried to pull tricks on me, a few, but I used your inspirational, and I just opened doors and back, and that worked. So nice inspiration. My other memory comes from Friday nights. Friday nights in Nashua growing up, football nights. And we would gather at Spring Street School with the band, the Royal Purple Marching 100, and we would march up the street and down Amherst Street to Holman Stadium, and you just heard the cadence of the drums reverberating. I can actually hear it as I think about it, reverberating through the streets in the anticipation of the game. You saw the lights coming, the people in the stadium knew the band was coming, and the game was about to begin. And what Mr. Norris instilled in us was purple, the pride in the purple, the pride in the city, the pride in our school. And for that reason, for all of his years he was here, we all carried that. Purple is here, purple's in our hearts. Those of us that graduated from here have never lost that. And it's just a tribute to all that you gave us on our behalf, so I would like to thank you for that. And I'm sorry for breaking a rule. I apologize. I will never do it again. Maybe not. As we go through this afternoon, I'll be bringing up some different speakers who would like to share some memories with you. So first, I would like to call to the podium with special memories our Alderman of Ward 2, Mr. Rick Dowd.
Steve, it's been a while for this event to take place, about 12, 14 years, but hopefully we'll make up for it. I don't know if you remember, Steve, but you and I go back to 1958, Crowley School, when we had a band, and the band director from the high school came over, and there was this young Greek teacher that had more energy than if he'd had 5 Red Bulls, and organized the whole thing. Billy Charis, do you remember? He was, yeah, we had quite a little group, and he was trying to recruit. I was a percussionist. Sorry, Dan. And
explains it.
Yeah. Oh. So, and he was trying to recruit percussionists from the schools to fill up the high school band at the time, and we went on from there, and then we were involved several different events during Act the Singers. I always remember the parties at Steve's house. He could throw the greatest party ever, as Jed and his wife will tell you. After Actor Singers events, we would go there, and everybody would have a great time. So we thank you for all of those memories and times. I'm here representing the Board of Education. Didn't happen while I was on the board, and I was on for 10 years. And now on the Board of Aldermen. So from the Board of Education and the Board of Aldermen, we want to thank you for all the years of service that you provided to the city, all the lives that you touched, and this ceremony is long overdue, and you're fully deserving of every bit of it. Thank you very much, Steve, for everything you've done for the city and for the schools.
Thank you, Alderman Dowd. And now I would like to call to the podium Assistant Principal from Pennachuck, former band member Dan O'Donnell.
You know, in typical Steve fashion, I received a call last night. Tell me what a wonderful guy I was and how much I it was Steve, and I said, what are you talking about, Oh, what you're doing for my family. I said, Steve, this is about you. And I want you to truly know, he's such a humble guy. I mean, he's always doing stuff for other people. I mean, we're here because of you, my friend, and I truly mean my friend. He's had such a profound impact on so many people. Just out of curiosity, anybody in this room who had Steve for a teacher during the years, stand up for a minute. Just stand up. Anybody signed up for a teacher? Now, I mean, look at these people. Now, Steve, okay, you can sit. I briefly added up their ages. It adds up to, I hate to tell you, about 13,000. So you're a very young guy, but I mean, you look at the ages of the people here. I'm not trying to put you down, guys, because I'm there too. But, this many years afterwards, they're coming to recognize their teacher. I mean, I can't tell you what a tribute that is. I mean, to have people just remember, and you should be so proud. You know, I had Steve at Crowley School also, and then I went to middle school, and when I was playing trumpet. He was, you're the size of a guy that plays trumpet. I went, okay. So I played trumpet in elementary school. Go to middle school, I went to Fairgrounds junior high, and typical thing that happens in middle school, things went downhill for me, so I became a percussionist. And I never knew you were a percussionist, but he came over very quickly and said, no, you don't play. And he put a trumpet back in my hands because the band director didn't know. And he encouraged me so much, and he brought over. I remember him bringing over the high school band, and with Dick Lancourt, do you remember? Who's now he's a job share teacher at Pennachuck now, playing trumpet and doing trumpeters, lullaby and all that stuff, and having Armando guitar. And I got so turned on the high school band, and Scott Smith was there in those days too, and all of us were just like, oh man, I got to be in the high school band, and then we got there. And for me, he was responsible for me getting to college because he went out and recruited. I know football coaches go out and find scouts. He was going out and recruiting people to give me scholarships. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have gone to college, gone to music school at Berkeley or anything. And profound impact. As a high school freshman, myself and three of my other classmates started three of us started a band, and we were playing out in clubs. We actually were 16 years old when we opened the Singapore restaurant. Yes, that was illegal. Yeah, nobody knew that because we had short hair. We don't have any hair now, but we had short hair, and we wore tuxes and stuff. In those days, if you remember back in the early 70s, late 60s, people had long hair and they all had acne. Well, our skin was clean, our hair was short, we wore suits, we were college students, and so we played there at 16 years old, and I'll tell you stories outside of here about that, because some of the students are here that I know. But from there, things just went up and up for me, and I had such a great time, and and it was all because of him. I can't express that enough, and man, it just brings tears to my eyes, the things that you've done for so many people, Steve. And I was talking to one of my great friends those years playing at the Singapore. Well, a friend of mine and I went on to Berkeley, and because we wanted to be great musicians, we wanted to follow in Steve's footsteps, and I decided to go on to education. My friend decided to keep on in performance. My friend is in Hawaii today, and he called me last night, and he can't be here today, but because he's so special, I got him to be here today. So if someone can put those lights down for 1 second, just part of the lights, just one set, maybe the front. Can you still see that enough? Okay. Friend of mine who, by the way, Steve doesn't know it. Steve had an impact on Frank Sinatra, on all sorts of big band players, on the Julian Iglesias. He has no idea who he touched. Now you'll think, oh, he did, because this guy has played with every single one of them. And a little surprise for you, Steve. Enjoy it. Thanks. Lights, please.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Norris. Sorry I couldn't be with you this evening. I'm on tour right now with Smokey Robinson. We're playing some shows in Hawaii, having a really nice time. And I'm really grateful to Dan O'Donnell for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this evening, even though it's via video. I'm really grateful for that opportunity, Dan. Thank you very much. I'd like to share with you what I think is the turning point in my musical life. One of the big turning points anyway. And for my bandmates, it had nothing to do with Steve Norris kicking me in the butt at marching band rehearsal. He never really actually did that, I'm just kidding. The thing that really made it for me, made a difference in my path at the time, was Steve handed me a piece of music during concert band season. There was an upcoming concert, and he wanted me to prepare a piano piece to be played with orchestra called The Theme from the Apartment. It was a really beautiful piece of music, and I really enjoyed learning it and performing it with the orchestra. It was a very difficult arrangement, but it was something that I was very proud of at the end of the concert, and I think some other folks were proud of me too. A really important turning point in my life. because I was heading down a certain path, and I think Steve widened that path for me. And I'm eternally grateful for that because I've remembered it all these years. The great thing about that was that it prepared me for a lot of upcoming events that have happened to me and happened to me recently. It's given me a chance to tour the world with some very interesting orchestras, very interesting concert venues, and some great artists. And it's allowed me to perform and conduct for them. And it's really been a big treat for me, and a lot of that has to do with what Steve did for me that one year that he gave me that piece of music. And I really wanted to share that with you. I think it's an important part of my life, and I want Steve to remember this as something that he did for me. Along with my father, Steve Norris was one of the most influential and most important mentors in my musical life. I just want to say, have a great evening. You certainly deserve it, and you've earned it. Thanks, Steve.
Now, though you didn't catch that picture, I'll put it up at the end a little bit more. Those people waving, the guy standing next to Jimmy Pappas, Demetrius Pappas now because he has a stage name, was Smokey Robinson. His whole stage crew, Smokey was there. He said else. We love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. I didn't know he had a mush pot side to him, so there you go. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? And this is not a man who expects this or asks for this or wants this, but how humble, and to have that kind of recognition. World known. Wow. I need your autograph again, because I'm sure I have it on that note you wrote to my mother that day. At this time, I would like to call forward on behalf of the Norris family, Greg Norris.
Thanks a lot. Tough act to follow, Smokey Robinson. I didn't think I'd have to do that, but there's a lot of ways to judge the accomplishments of a teacher, and if one of those ways is by the volume of clutter and debris he accumulated in his office over the years, I think today's honor is well deserved. Any of you who've seen The Office know that. This seemed like it would be kind of easy a month or so ago to get up and say a few words on behalf of the family, but the more I thought about it, the more difficult it seemed. Maybe that's because my dad was never really been big on speeches or about reflecting a lot on the past. I don't think he's been more of a someone concerned with action and with doing things. So in some ways, today's event, I think, speaks for itself. There's not too much more that I can add to it. Most important thing I think I can say is sincere thank you. Thank you to the group that envisioned this honor for him and that turned it into a reality today. For a guy who's always gone out of his way to avoid recognition and to downplay his accomplishments, my dad's managed to rack up quite a few honors and awards over the last few years, it seems like, but his service to the school and to the church and to the community. He last year even got himself inducted into the Nashua Athletic Hall of Fame, which is quite a funny accomplishment for a music teacher, but I was there and it actually happened. So, but this today is really something it's quite unprecedented and really kind of overwhelming. My dad will deny, I'm sure, that he's deserving of it, but I know it's something he finds truly gratifying. And you should know that it's something that's touched my mother, my brother, and I, and our families very deeply, and it's something I think that's going to touch his 4 grandchildren very deeply as well for the decades to come. So on behalf of the family, I want to say thank you to Superintendent Conrad, to Principal Seusing, to Stacy Hines, who did so much work to put this together, and members of the school board, Mr. Dowd, and especially to Danny O'Donnell and Tony Coronis, Paul Santerre, and all the others who had so much to do with this. It really means a lot to the family. I can actually, like Principal Seusing and like some of the others today, I can speak from a few perspectives today. not only as a son and not only as a former student, but I was also the former band mascot when I was a kid. Somewhat unique. Something I hope not too many people remember pictures of. Yeah. And I was even a professional colleague, believe it or not. I had a brief tenure as a substitute teacher while I was in graduate school, so I consider myself a colleague as well, some stretch of the term. So a lot of stories and memories come to mind, too many to really get into today or to go into detail. The one thing I want to emphasize is that a lot of you saw and can appreciate the dedication my dad brought to the school and to the community over the years, but I had a privilege through those years to see something else. I saw him at the very same time doing really even more as a husband, as a son, and certainly as a father. And as my wife and I raise our own kids, there isn't really a day that goes by that I don't find myself grateful or in awe of how he was able to do so much during those years. By dedicating the music rooms here today, I think the city's also doing something bigger than honoring my father. In a bigger sense, the importance of teaching itself is being honored, and it's nice to see so many former students of his that are teachers. The importance really of what so many educators do every day, and that what my dad did for 43 years, and that's to expose kids to enriching experiences, challenge them to do more than what they thought they can do, and be more than what they thought they can be. And he certainly did that when I was a student, and I think many of the other students can say the same thing. And I think also, just let me wrap up, by beyond commemorating what one person did in the past today, I think the naming of the music room can also impact what hundreds and hundreds of other people might do in the future. You can't help but think about the students and teachers and members of the community that'll come here and see the plaque that we're about to unveil in the future and say, Steve Norris, who was that? And when they find out the answer, hopefully they'll draw some inspiration from the qualities that define my dad's career and also that continue to define his life. Commitment, pride, hard work, accomplishment, and really the main thing I think was a selfless dedication to helping others. So on behalf of the family, I want to thank the group again that put this together. It's really a special honor for the family, and I want to thank all of you for taking the time to come out today and honor him. Thanks a lot.
All right, kids, you ready? This is the fun part. I would like to call to the surprise behind that black piece of, you're not looking over there, Mr. Norris, it's a surprise, so don't look. We're going to call forward the grandchildren of Mitchell, Nicholas, Alexandra, and Stephen. I'm getting there. And they will be joined by Mayor Donnelly Lozo.
You know, it's good, you guys already and it's good, look at this, the two tall ones in the back. I know. Okay, so you're gonna hold that. Hold it up. Now, okay? There's gonna hold the bottom. Now, don't do anything yet, just hold it like that. Now, I'm a big countdown person, group participation kind of thing. And I was trying to think of a number that had some relevance. 43 is a long way to go. Just saying. But then I wondered, how many instruments can you play? Is it single digits or double digits? Single digits. Oh, good. What number is it? 6. Okay, guys. Here we go. We're going to count down from 6. Hold it up tall. And when we get to 0, you guys are all going to let it go. Okay? You ready? Everybody together?
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Notice more than one. Nashua's own music man. In recognition of Stephen Norris for 43 years of distinguished service to the youth of Nashua as the Nashua Senior High School Music Director, 1955 to 1998. Through his dedication, expertise, enthusiasm, and guidance, he profoundly influenced the lives of his students and enriched the performing arts and the greater Nashua community. His tireless commitment enabled him to teach so many young musicians lessons that went far beyond music. Dedicated by the National Board of Education, April 22nd, 1998. Now another round of applause.
Thank you, guys. For you to know, we had the big debate about whether to have the plaque installed and have the ceremony near the plaque, but we thought this would be a lot more intimate for you. So know that the plaque, along with this very handsome photo, still looks very handsome, will be mounted in the music area in the next few days in terms of always being up as an honor and recognition to you. So the plaque and the photo will go together, and this is how you'll be always on our wall. So, you know, I think that's pretty cool. Huh. And before we move on, I understand you may have a few words that you would like to say. Would you like to come forward? I was told this by other people, so come on up.
Excuse me, I want to thank the mayor and everybody else for being here. This is supposed to be a small gathering, but I'm so overwhelmed and surprised and honored by this great turnout. This is unbelievable. First of all, I'd like to thank Danny O'Donnell for spearheading this program. He met my wife Stephanie in the parking lot of Pennachuck Junior High School, and he said, "Gee, we better get this done. We better get this done right away before it's too late." I don't know what he meant by too late, but maybe he meant...
The table is set up either way.
I want to thank and recognize our spiritual leader from my church, Father Tom, who's out back there, who's been an inspiration to my family and to me. And my principal, Stanley Staunches, who was my principal most of the time I was teaching school, although I went through about 10 principals. But Stanley, where are you? Jen and Tony and Sophia for keeping this a secret and trying so hard to keep me surprised. A surprise for me. I want to thank you very much for everything you've done, and Tony especially, and Danny, who carried the ball for this program. And last of all, I want to thank, most important, I want to thank my family for being here. I didn't expect Greg to be here and didn't expect his family to be here, but I'm honored. And Jeffrey's birthday today, by the way. Jeffrey, my youngest son's birthday today, and he's here with his family. And then my wife, Stephanie, who's been supported all the time I've been teaching school and been my right-hand person. This has been an overwhelming surprise, and I just can't get over the number of people that are here and the number of people that turned out to be. But most of all, I want to thank all the thousands and thousands of youngsters that I met and been a part of and worked with, together with, in the band and in the chorus for 43 years. It's been a marvelous experience, and I've enjoyed every bit of it, and I'd do it over again if I could, but it's wonderful. They're wonderful people. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And now with some closing remarks, I would like to call to the podium Mayor Donnelly Lozo.
Thank you. Inside baseball, it's always so much fun, isn't it? Speaking of baseball, it was nice last year to have you inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it was fun to watch the family wonder, how does that work? So it's something about the band and the field, all that stuff worked together. You know, Mr. Norris, I wish I could say that I was one of your students. I might have ended up in McDonald's myself. But I didn't go past chorus in middle school. My voice kind of changed, and as you can tell, probably not something people were seeking out for any kind of singing. But I think the plaque actually says it all. But I wanted to just add, I think the truest sign of a really good teacher is a teacher who sees something in people that they don't see in themselves. And your son alluded to that same thing. And you have done that for countless people in our community. And as it was said, to see students that have come out and some students that have become teachers and some students that have become famous, it's really quite remarkable. And I think it's so important for our community to remember. Remember the people in the community that make things special, and remember the people that make a difference in your life. And you're one of those people. And so thank you for bringing music into Nashua. Well, you know, it happened before I was born, so we'll say you brought it here. But thank you for keeping the music alive in Nashua, and so many people in their hearts and in their souls. We're quite proud of you. Thank you.
So as we wrap up this afternoon, I do thank you all for being here on behalf of such a great man. We have a plethora of delicious food, and an abundance of Greek food has joined us. So we thank the Greek community for that. And I would like to thank the Nashua School District Kitchen Department, who is out there serving as well. So we invite you to hang around for a while and partake of the festivities and join some socialization as we honor a wonderful man. But make sure you're here at 7 to see him conduct. Thank you very much.
Now, I am actually Dan O'Donnell, and I was a student of Steve's, and I was the band director after him, and I got to work with him. And this is a much younger guy. This is Paul Santerre. Paul Santerre, no matter what he says, I taught him trumpet lessons. It'll go down history, I wanted in film. But anyway, we're trying to outdo each other with stories about Steve. So here's the one I had. When Steve was in 1971, and I remember Steve went off to the cafeteria, and Mike Mansfield, who was about, well, you can't see it on camera, but he was about up to my waist. And we took Mike and we put him inside a sousaphone case in Steve's office. Then we proceeded, I know you weren't there, but we shut the sousaphone case with little Mikey in it to be funny. And then someone said, Norris is coming, Norris is coming. So we looked at, we didn't have time to get him out. So we left him inside the case. And then we ran out of his office, shut the door. He went in his office, sat down at his desk, and little Mikey began to rock back and forth in the case. And then all of a sudden, Steve turns like this. You know, he's looking at it like, thinks it's possessed. He has, and so he goes over and he unclicks the case, opens it up, and he yells at Mike Mansfield, like, what do you think you're doing? Don't you ever do this again. Don't you ever. He never figured out that, how could he get inside the case and lock it? And we never told him. But it was a good time. Then little Mikey turned, then another time with little Mikey, I wish Mike was here so he is. Another time, one day at band camp, we're at Plymouth State College, and
that's mine.
No, it's a different one.
Okay,
right?
hold on. Go ahead.
30 years for you. So at Plymouth State College, we took the little Mikey Mansfield because he's still little, and we put him inside a bass drum. Mr. Norris asked us to go get the bass drums. We put him inside the bass drum with the clear heads, and we walked over to the Plymouth State College field on top of a big hill, and he said, "Where's Mike?" He's with the drum. I don't see him. And we rolled the drum down the hill with little Mikey in the drum. Mikey no longer fills in the drum, sits in the drum. He's about 6'4" now, and he's the chief of the fire department down in Andover, Massachusetts. Now, Mr. Santerre, can you outbeat those stories? Come on.
Now that Danny has taken a breath, I have another one for you, Steve, that I don't even think to this day you might not remember. But we are also at Plymouth State College, and the tradition then was to put shaving cream in the pillowcases, et cetera, et cetera. And one night we took care of a certain person, and it was Danny Bergeron, not Danny O'Donnell, Danny Bergeron, Robbie Justison, me, and Mike Mansfield, and we also, a very tall person, and God rest his soul, Chucky Barron, and we took care of this room with the typical shaving cream and all that stuff, and we ran out of the room, shut the door, and we all went into another person's room before you came in to do curfew check, and we pretended we were all sleeping. We weren't sleeping. It was us, Steve. We destroyed a few rooms. Thank you, and congratulations.
And, and you're going to pay the bill they're sending it to next week. Bye.
Thank you Butter, you're a good butter. Congratulations on your award. All right, thank you.
Dad, I just want to say congratulations. This is well-deserved today. It's nice to see such a great turnout, and like I said, certainly a well-deserved honor for all your service. I enjoyed being in the band myself a lot, and like a lot of the other kids, I think it was a terrific experience. So thanks a lot. Well-deserved. Thanks.
This is so cool. I have two of my band students interviewing me about my past band director. I can't say enough about Steve Norris. He is amazing. He's the one that came to my Catholic junior high school, recruited me on clarinet to play in the high school band, and he also recruited me to be a drum major, which I was for 3 years at the high school. So Mr. Norris, I have a lot to thank. Thank you so much. And the cool thing is, you're conducting on the concert. My kids are really excited. Hopefully you'll take it faster tonight, because I know they want to play it faster. So, Steve, congratulations. I can't wait to do the concert tonight. I'll be seeing you along the way, so this is no goodbyes. Thank you.
Steve and Stephanie and family, it has been a pleasure to know you guys. And Steve, I thank you for the education that you gave me. You received music education, and for speaking on behalf of Sophia and I, we wish you the best. We congratulate you the most, and enjoy the concert this evening. Thank you.
Hi, Steve. On behalf of the St. Philip community, I'd like to congratulate you today for the dedication of the music rooms. It is an honor that you have served our community and you have served the community of Nashua for so many years. You have really left an imprint on all the people, and God has blessed you with many gifts, and we thank you for sharing them with us. Congratulations again.
Hi, Mr. Norris. This is Jen Seusing again, your former student and now the principal here at the school that you conducted at. And we hope that you enjoyed today's dedication to you, and you'll have to come back and see the plaque once we get the plaque installed with your handsome photo at the front that we talked about. You have a wonderful family. I have just fabulous memories of band camp, even the time I got in trouble, just once or maybe twice. Thank you for all you've done for the city of Nashua, for the students and the music, and we just will always carry those memories forward. So congratulations and enjoy your day.
The students behind me had a great dress rehearsal today with a gentleman that, as she said, we honored today. And my former band director, friend and colleague, and same with many of these people sitting in the audience. I couldn't think of a more appropriate person to be up here conducting this first song than Mr. Steve Norris. Please help me welcome him to the stage.